Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Hearty good morning to everyone. Allow me to recognize in our presence and salute my sister in service, Dr. the Honorable Nyan Gatsby-Dolly, Minister of Education. It's a pleasure to be here with you and to share in yet another youth development, educational, transformational project with you. It's a real pleasure. I want to recognize Mr. Prem Nat Samnal, Deputy Director of Community Development Division in the Ministry of Sport and Community Development, Mr. Roger Roach, Chairman of Export Centers Company Limited, who has not only given the company a nice facelift, but is really working the ins and outs of the Export Centers Company Limited, transforming its operations, making sure we have the right people in the right places, and developing our system so that this thing truly works and reaps the benefit that it's supposed to. So I salute Chairman Roach and the directors of his team who are here today. A hearty good morning. I want to especially recognize Professor Cleme Imber, new pronunciation for me this morning, Chairman of MIC IT. I want to thank you, sir. We in the Ministry of Sport and Community Development have been working in all different areas with MIC. MIC is always ready to jump on board. They have this really unique and beautiful way of making $1 out of 50 cents, as much as he called for more kagata. Yes, he knows how to make $1 out of 50 cents and how to just adapt to your situation and create programs that suit every specific need for the ministry or the community. So the MIC IT team, I salute you. When MIC started, I didn't expect it to grow into what it is today. I thought it was just about getting these folks who didn't get their CXCs to learn some tech stuff. But MIC is really going above and beyond the call of duty as it relates to vision, as it relates to making sure that you're modernized and you really cater to the needs of these youngsters. So I commend you. To the board of directors of both ECCL and MIC, to Mr. Adwin Cox, CEO of ECCL, Mr. Anil Ramnarain, pleasure to work with you once again, CEO of MICIT, ECCL, MICIT hydroponics trainees. I salute you. No dropouts. That is something that's really, really commendable. It's a pleasure to be in your presence this morning. Members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's a real, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be here. This morning, I greet you fresh off of a Caribbean Airlines flight from Tobago after spending a long weekend of excitement and family and food and fun in Tobago with all the Easter weekend activities. And I said, oh gosh, to get up this morning, to come down to Trinidad to do this, after racing goats on the weekend, and literally I ran crab for the first time last night. So I said, but I had to make it because of what this program represents and this milestone that we are approaching and what we're doing in advancing the cause of craft development and education in Trinidad and Tobago. So as DJ Ilan says, I'm tired, but I'm thankful to be here this morning. I'm thankful that after experiencing Easter in Tobago over the weekend, to see tradition maintained, preserved, protected for over 90 years. Yesterday we celebrated 95 years of the Boko Goat Race and Crab Race Festival. And the type of person I am, I indulge in just about everything, whether it's, I love a good craft market, and if it's one thing we had was a good craft market. And as I went from store to store, stand to stand, I was pleased by not only the variety but the quality of what our artisans are created in Trinidad and Tobago, whether it's earrings, purses, hats, mats, fans, you name it, and you compare it to what's being delivered and offered up the island, we can show off. We can boast of the quality. And I'm not here to bash anybody else's craft program or what they produce, but we should take some time out to really examine the quality of what we produce here in Trinidad and Tobago. It is exceptional. So for me, I stood there and I felt a sense of pride, not only as Minister of Sport and Community Development with ECCL under my remit, or as a Member of Parliament for Tobago West, but as a Trinbagonian, to see how we have preserved the culture and what we are still able to produce, and to see the craft industry alive and well and kicking once again, because COVID had really knocked us down when the cruise ships weren't coming in and we didn't have enough opportunity for our folks to sell. Yes, so I stood there with a sense of pride yesterday. And what does all of Buku Easter crab racing, goat racing, handicraft shops have to do with today? Everything. Because somebody had to do something to help these folks to develop their skills, to preserve and protect the way in which they do what they do and what they create. And I think I loved most listening to their sales pitch and watching them sell. You don't learn that at home. You don't learn that at home. So I know that Ministry of Sport and Community Development, ECCL, MIC, I don't know which media house this is, but okay, then you can still capture me.
Still Ben?
Yes, go ahead. All right now. Thank you. Thank you so much, Professor. Yes, that in introducing entrepreneurship and training in digital marketing, and some people could give you their business cards, and then somebody introduced me to something I think called, I think it's Bing. So you ask for a business card and they say, oh no, scan this QR code. Handicraft man, Rasta man in the community, hello. So people are growing. They're growing, they're moving with the time. And when that Rasta man let me scan his QR code, and it took me directly to his contact information and his Instagram page, I said, hello, we're doing something right. So to be here today to witness MIC and ECCL take yet another step in formalizing our relationship, and I'm glad that we're formalizing the relationship after the relationship is already well nurtured, nourished, and going along the way, because oftentimes we create arrangements and sign MOUs and then we take years to actually start. Here we have participants actually giving testimonials, and I think that that is something that you ought to give yourselves a round of applause for. So for me, this new union, as it relates to this specific merger or relationship, partnership in taking handicrafts yet to the next level, is a really commendable one. It's about putting together the human resource capacity that you have here at MIC and merging that with what we're doing at ECCL. It's giving our artisans access to more people with more knowledge and more experience to help them to improve their trade. It's about improving the craft sector and developing a better approach into how they do things and how they deliver and how they create what they create to suit today's society, that they could stand as an equal or even better competitor when they stand next to their colleagues from other countries and from other Caribbean nations, as it relates to knowledge, experience, technique, access to market, and best practices. Now, the Ministry of Sport and Community Development has had a long, strong history of fostering fruitful collaborations. The ministry is as old, the Ministry of Community Development is as old as the country. So in 1960, 2, we got independence. 1963, we had the Meet the People tour where Dr. Williams went from community to community, looking at what the people are doing and saying, hey, we must develop a Ministry of Community Development, and key to that must be this community education program and skills training program. And all skills training program, the CEP, the community education program, started from as early as 1963 through the Ministry of Community Development and the development of Best Village, where most of your artisans came from. When you go to the Santa Cruz craft market and you go to any good craft market, you can find somebody who got their skills and learned what they know through Prime Minister's Best Village Trophy competition and the different training programs. This year we're proud to celebrate 60 years in the business of Prime Minister's Best Village Trophy competition, and that is 60 years of excellence and entrepreneurship. And women who have no sexy subjects but know how to make things with their hand and count their money, make their money, and now access social media and access platforms like Craft Hub and Parlor, created by yet another partnership of the Ministry of Sport and Community Development, ECCL, Ministry of Public Utilities, TSTTB Mobile. 1963, we were not thinking like that. And now I think that COVID and this focus on digital transformation has forced us to utilize our resources better, to partner where we need to, and to use all platforms to expose our people to what Trinidad and Tobago and what our different entities really have to offer. So today we can boast of hundreds of artisans on that platform, where even though there's COVID and you don't have as many cruise ships coming as they weren't coming last year and the year before, if I'm sitting in the US and I want to buy a TTT jersey or a tie-dye jersey, I don't have to wait to come to Trinidad and Tobago to get items made in Trinidad and Tobago. I can log on to Parlor, go to Craft Hub, and I can purchase these things. Because before you had to come, you had to visit somewhere to get what you want. Yes, if you want Bridget sandals out of Jamaica today, you still have to go find Bridget sandals. I have a problem with that. But in Trinidad and Tobago, we have OBJ, you have Ted Arthur, you have these guys on the platform making and delivering quality products available to customers in Trinidad and Tobago, throughout the Caribbean and the rest of the world, through the World Wide Web. Thank you, ECCL. And today, this merger, this partnership, this MOU takes us one more step further, because the platform is not only about having consumers having access to purchase. You can get on there and network and meet other people with whom you can partner, and you can also get on the platform, the Craft Hub TT, and train. And this MOU takes these new programs in hydroponics onto that platform, so you can be anywhere in the world, meet up on new friends, new partners, learn skills, and teach also. And that is the kind of business that we are into. It's all about partnership. Last year, again, we partnered with Nedco to do With These Hands. And With These Hands is a program where we encourage artisans, or anybody at home, if you think you're good with your hands and you could make something, you apply to the Ministry of Sport and Community Development, and we take you through our training program to help you to develop that skill. What we've recently added over the last 2-3 years is training in digital transformation, access to the internet, virtual marketing, entrepreneurship, because I said to our stakeholders and our clients, we're boasting that we are training over 6,000 persons per year in the Ministry of Sport and Community Development, Community Education Program, and ECCL. And if you're training over 6,000, 7,000 persons per year, but you're not creating thousands of businesses per year, then you're creating hobbies. And people getting on for free because we boast that it's free. And I think that some people should pay, yeah? But that's another story we ought to have, because sometimes you have the same people taking all 10 classes in soap making and how to do oils and how to do that, and you're not creating a business, you're just doing it for fun. This really, we're supposed to be giving priority to people who are unemployed, underemployed, people who are looking to make a change as it relates to income generation and having an additional line of wealth creation. Not a doctor or lawyer who said, I home and I have a little time, let me do a little something, and say, you should pay. But that's another story we'll have at another time. But I'm saying, if we're investing so much money and resources and time and talent, because even to create the virtual platform, to conduct the training, to have thousands of people on at the same time, it costs us money. If we're making that kind of investment, then this kind of training needs to transform into entrepreneurs, into champions of industry, into businesses that are contributing to community development, community empowerment, changing the stories of families, challenging people who come from families and backgrounds who think that business is not for them. You with me? I hope you're with me, because there are people in some communities who just think that business is not for them, business is for them people over so. Or you had to have somebody in your family who had been a wealthy businessman or doing good at business, like you had to born with it. No, we can create entrepreneurs and give them the skills and the resources and the techniques and the training and make the investment in them, and that would change the story, change even the identity of a person, of your community, of your family, and change your contribution to the national economy. And that gives our people a sense of pride. I like to say, you see that young man who is out there hustling, selling drugs in the street, getting involved in trouble? That's a young entrepreneur waiting to be discovered. If we can direct that energy into something positive, they're already out there risking it all. Yeah, so they are risk takers. Yes, if we can find a way to develop some of that energy and redirect that energy into entrepreneurship, into sport, into so many other areas, I think Trinidad and Tobago would be a better place. And that's what today is all about. Because Mr. Grant could have been somewhere else, doing something else. And when he dropped out of his job, he could have said, okay, so I got what next? Let me find something else to do. Get involved in some trouble. But there was a place for him to go, and people on whom he can rely, and information and teaching that kept his interest, that kept him going and going and going, that today we can boast that nobody has dropped out. And for me, ladies and gentlemen, that is really what community development is all about. I assumed duties as Minister with responsibility for community development in September of 2020. And when I got on board, Ministry of Community Development and ECCL were doing an experiment with URP. And they took these ladies from the Lavantil and East Port of Spain communities, and they are employed with URP. And they decided to teach them a skill, and partnered with City and Guilds, I think they call it, City and Guilds. And they worked on these folks for about a good 6-8 months. And you had people who came in there with no skill, now learning how to do woodworking, metalworking. They trained them in how to do mixology and that kind of thing so that they can work in bars. And on that day of that graduation, the sense of pride in every participant, and they talked about what they were going to do, and they showed off the items that they created. That changes a whole mindset. When a child sees mommy doing this, and then she's able to sell and earn some money, it says, I can do it too. And that changes the script, that changes the narrative, it changes the thinking, it changes the culture in your family, then in your community, and then in your whole nation, and that is what community development is all about to me and to this government, because we stand on a long, strong history and legacy of leveling the playing field through education. It's not necessarily going to school and getting your CXC subjects. I'm sure all of us as adults could now tell everybody it's a lie. Life doesn't work out after you get 5 CXCs. It's a lie. And you not become rich by going to work from 8 to 4 in the public service. That too is a lie. Yes? You have to use some skill that you have. God made everybody with something that they can make some money. Every single body, it's as unique as your fingerprint, and they tell you, go find your purpose. That's what we're doing today. Helping people with that passion and desire to identify, I didn't get 5 CXC, so what? And I'm not saying to the kids out there, don't get your 5 CXC. Please get your 5 CXC and get more if you can. Yeah, because as Dr. Dolly said earlier, in Jamaica, government only pays for 4 CXC subjects. You have to pay for the rest or win scholarship through athletics and so on for the rest. We're offering them 10 and 11 and 12 for free. So if you could get those CXCs, get them. Education is a ticket. If you don't have a ticket, you don't have a chance. But I'm saying that formal education is not the only education. Hence we created MIC, CCC, YTEP, to give everybody that second, third, fourth, and fifth chance, to give everybody that opportunity to get out of poverty, to give everybody that feeling that I wake up this morning, there is life in me, there is something available for me to do. There is something. Every one of you, if you're interested in something, you wake up tomorrow and say, me, I feel I want to be a barman, yes? There's a course somewhere in Trinidad and Tobago for you to do, courtesy the government of Trinidad and Tobago, the taxpayers of Trinidad and Tobago. And that's what this country was built on, education. So it's your business to mind your business. And people don't like me to say these things because they want to tell you, if you're in a gutter, it's the government's fault. No, you have to come out and meet us on the half too. The programs are there, the opportunities are there, the structures are established, the systems are established for you to get out there and find what is this thing that you love and what you're passionate about. That's what community development is about. That's what nation building is all about. It's about lifting people as we rise, as Dr. Dolly said, taking people along with you and taking people from the back seat of their development to the driver's seat of their development. You're in charge of your destiny. We as government, we're here to facilitate, to provide the programs, to provide the projects and the opportunities, but you had to reach out and touch and run with us too. We don't have the answers to everything, but we provide these programs of this nature to help you for free. I don't know how long for free, but for free. And that's what it's all about. So today, I want to salute ECCL for the transformation that you have made in restoring a sense of purpose and relevance to this organization, which is over 20 years old. Yeah, and we had been doing things the same old way for many, many years. You have ECCL now getting with what is modern and helping our artisans to feel that sense of pride and place and purpose once again. So I salute you, Chairman Roach, and your team. Our new CEO, Edwin Cox. Thank you and welcome. MIC is magic. The M in MIC is magic. Let me tell you, I've never been in a position where I called on MIC and MIC is unable to help. MIC finds a way. When I was in Ministry of Sport and Community Development, living in Bethel Village, in a community where you have youngsters, it's easy to slip on this side. MIC, I said, how do I get the men in my community into a program or get them interested in MIC? MIC brought a bus with playing some rude boy music. And so the boys would gather at the bus, but when you come in the bus, they sit with you and they fill out the forms and then roll you in the programs. That's what MIC is all about. We approach MIC as it relates to Empower TT. I said, hey, we have youngsters from these troubled communities. Many of them don't have a skill. And as they said to us, Many of them haven't graduated from anything ever in life, not even primary school. Some of them can read and some can't. And MIC said, we'll work with you. And MIC worked with these young men, and some of them graduated for the very first time, now with a passion and an interest in doing something, courtesy MIC. So I salute you for always being ready to get on board, always being ready to share, to reinvent, to re-engineer, for being agile, for being nimble, for being committed to your purpose, for persevering, for running the distance, and for always delivering. So I salute Sir Imber and his team here at MIC, and I say to all the stakeholders who would have worked diligently to get us to this point, thank you. Keep the fire burning, and may this partnership reap good fruit and even become a template for more partnerships to come, not only locally but regionally, because we are at a place now at the Ministry of Sport and Community Development where we're not only training citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, now that we've gone virtual, you have Grenadians and Vincentians and so on logged on. We are that people. We are Trinbagonians. We are the people that took an old oil drum and turn it into a steel pan, and then create a whole ensemble out of it and cause the world to move. We can do just about any and everything, and we sure do know how to take 50 cents and take it into $1. Yeah. So for everybody who continue to put your heart and hands and head to the work, keep the fire burning. There's so much more work for us to do, not only for ourselves, for the young ones who are coming up and depend on us, for people like Sir Grant and his team who have found a new way and a new route, and new pride and new place. Thank you. God bless you. May we run the distance together, and may we play our part in developing the Trinidad and Tobago that we all want to see. We won't be here forever. I won't be here forever. I won't be Minister of Sport and Community Development forever. I won't be a politician forever. You won't be around forever either. But every step we take, every move we make, every investment is towards realizing this dream of being this champion in the Caribbean and this great country that we set out to be since 1962. Here we are 61 years later, doing good and getting better. And that's because of the work that you and I put in. So I'm happy to be here, happy to witness the signing of this MOU. This is community empowerment at work. This is national development at work. And this is Trinbagonians showing the world what we're really made of. Thank you. God bless you. God bless our nation.
Thank you for those words, Honorable Minister. We would now like to